It's not what you know, it's who you know. I always do it personally because I think all these high level corporations, tend to get other people to do their work for them, especially some other CEOs. But for me, I like to be there personally because it's a personal growth driven business, right? Yeah. And that needs to come across because a lot of my team are family driven. So that's a big, strong core for us that, if people want to trust us to have a car care plan, they can see as well that we are also founders of families for the next generation.
Welcome to Trust AI Partners, where we dive into the cutting edge of tech innovation. Join us as we explore how AI automation is transforming the industry. If you're ready to discover the future of AI innovation and how your company can get ahead, stay tuned and connect with us for more information. I'm your host, Jim Hoover, and today we're joined by Mark Davis, COO at AutoStone. Mark leads enterprise execution and scalable growth and has helped AutoStone expand into markets while elevating reliability, speed, and quality at scale. Mark, great to have you here. For listeners who may not know you yet, would you introduce yourself and share a quick snapshot of AutoStone's journey today?
Yeah, so on the actual original co-founder of AutoStone, the name AutoStone came from originally from a windscreen that an automotive glass on a car vehicle. So a stone pops up, you get a chip or a stone chip, right? So immediately then got auto and I created the name AutoStone. That's how it was came alive. Yeah.
Perfect. And so tell us a recent win at AutoStone that you're proud of.
Yeah, so I reached out to a major global company, Bosch, which is a very well-known, reputable company.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. And then I went along for a meeting, and that was I was expecting about 2 people, but there was 10 people in the boardroom. Yeah. So I pitched to those 10 people in the boardroom. The main guy that I connected with saw the connection, the collaboration between them and AutoStone, especially going with the AI in automotive car servicing. Yeah. So really, they were looking to do something similar to us. So really, when we pitched, within 10-15 minutes, they said they want to come in on a major collaboration and then eventually take the brand global.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something to be proud of. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And so now we got the approval now in UK to take it throughout the United Kingdom. So people with their trucks or cars or anything like we do with automotive repairs, they can go into a local centre now, and we've white labelled it AutoStone Rapid Centres.
Okay. And so at a high level, how would you describe the AutoStone's operations today, team size, core markets, major programs that you're scaling right now?
Yeah, so with the we got teams globally now in America, Australia, United Kingdom, and even in Spain. Yeah, so they're all a great remote team, very well. Yeah, um, yeah, very well. I trust them implicitly, and they do a good job. So I have Jenny Junker. She's my chair lady, and she's one of my investors as well. So she has a major company in Australia and a very tech company as well. So yeah, I'm privileged to have her on my board, and her and her team work very hard with the brand.
And who do you have leading the US expansion?
So yeah, we have a guy called Mike Fisher in the States. So yeah, I've known Mike for over 8 years, and yeah, he believes in it as a CEO for AutoStone in the new year.
Okay. And so what do you see as the most pressing operational constraint today?
I think really it's people's mindsets because they go to an automotive repair center, right? Yeah, and they get an estimate for a repair. Yeah, but that later on in the day or next day, if the car's kept behind for some reason, they can't get hold of the part. But then that bill's been escalated up. I think from that point of view, is there's a bit of vulnerability in that because you're getting told one thing of this is what it's going to cost, and then all of a sudden you got another bill that's going to escalate. Yeah.
Hmm.
So really, that's a worrying thing, especially with a family, right? That you rely on your family car and you need that car, and you're working on a budget. So we actually reflected that back into AutoStone. So we done a lower tier car care plan for people that are on low budgets as well. Yeah. So they can keep their family car going and stuff like that. So we catered for that. So we did a level 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So, level 2 is people that can afford. Level 3 is the high, and then number 4 is the high wealth people with all the sports cars and Aston Martins and stuff like that. So the lower end is what I'm very passionate for, and it's catered for females, because the females break down to one parent family, anything like that. I think
Hmm.
it's you know uh, women are very vulnerable when it comes to car repairs. So why not have a car care plan that you pay one price, and anything over and above what of the car care plan subscription, you won't have to pay. AutoStone pays the extra for you.
And so, before we get into some of the specifics and details, if for the listeners out there who might not be aware, basically the business concept is providing a monthly subscription service for maybe what is it, a 1 year service agreement at a time? Is that correct?
Yeah, and you can renew it as well. So yeah, every you have a 1 year subscription, and then if you want to stay on, you just carry on with the subscription.
And you have different levels of the plan based on the scope of services and protections that are included with that level plan.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so one question that comes to mind is how does this differ from the typical sort of aftermarket insurance policies that most car dealerships offer?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I think with look, if a car comes from a dealership, right, they have a warranty, right? Yeah. So that warranty could be 6 months, especially if it's a second-hand car. Um, it will have a 6 months warranty, or if it's a car manufacturer, it could have a 2 or 3 year warranty, right?
Hmm.
But especially ones that come from a dealership that are selling second-hand goods, automobile cars, is that 3 to 6 months that warranty expires, right? So why not all these dealerships, which we're exploring currently at the moment, is that we'll get them to put in an AutoStone car care plan. So once that warranty takes over, the car care plan kicks in.
Okay, I see. Got it. Makes sense. And so moving on to some of those specific metrics, I'm curious, what are the weekly or monthly core metrics that you pay attention to let you know if the business is healthy and progressing forward, or there's some issue or problem that you need to pay close attention to and make it a priority?
I think customer care, right, is my number one priority, right? Because it's communication with the customer is imperative. It's so important. Yeah. So I find that in metrics is the big key, because it's similar to like Uber, right? If you've got Uber, yeah. So that's my wife. You got Uber. Their cars have got to be turned up in such a specific time to collect that customer, right? Yeah. So we're similar to that, but it's the communication.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so, what technology or services are you implementing or looking to implement that is able to give you that customer feedback in real time or as quickly as possible to be able to make whatever adjustments to the business that are necessary?
Yeah, so when they their sign up to their subscription, they have a live portal in their subscription. Yeah, so anything that needs to be resolved, they can message through that live portal they have access to, and we pick it up within 5 minutes.
Okay. And so since we're talking about it, do you want to quote what the customer satisfaction rating is, or some of those metrics that you're seeing currently?
Currently, we're ranging about 75-80% at the moment.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There's still room for improvement all times, right? Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And so I've never looked into it personally, but I imagine, it's typical out there for companies to be, or customers to be, not always satisfied or dissatisfied with a lot of the aftermarket sort of insurance programs or car warranty programs that they're purchasing. So I imagine the typical aftermarket warranty is going to have a significantly less customer satisfaction rating, because it always seems that the thing that breaks, that needs fixed, that's going to cost them a lot of money, that they thought was going to be covered by the service policy, is now not covered.
Correct. Yeah,
And
correct.
I suppose that's where you step in and create value.
Yeah, I think that's where the car care plan of AutoStone comes in, because that way, if the customer sees that, thinking, well, wow, we've got another establishment that's actually can kick my car care plan and get my vehicle repaired, and I'm back on the road, right? Because, you know,
Hmm.
I think people rely on their vehicles a lot, right? Yeah, to commute, right? Yeah, so it's very important. Um, for a business person or family, or if the wife is doing a school run for the community or something like that, yeah, using the car. So it's important to have that vehicle back on the road. I always have that at the top of my list. If a car is like a human, right? It will speak back if there's a problem in the engine. If you're sitting in the traffic, right, people think this is crazy, but an engine will churtle around on the RPMs, right? It will talk to you.
Hmm.
The minute it drops, it's talking to you that I need to go to have a repair or something like that. I know that I've had the experience of that for my own vehicle as well. So, like I said to my daughter, I need to get my Range Rover in to a repair. Yeah, she said, no, we've got to get to from where we were to where she needed to go. And then we broke down on the A40, and it turned out to be a fuel pump. So therefore, my car went sick. But I knew the car, right? Yeah.
And so, Mark, I think you had touched on this earlier, but when you think about expanding this business all over the world, what are in terms of focusing on growing the business, who are you targeting in order to help you scale the fastest? Is it car dealerships? Is it service centers? Is it direct to consumer? And
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so consumer is a big plus, right? Because that's that I'm want to direct it to the consumer, and on a B
Okay.
two B as well. And insurance companies, was when people take out car insurance policies, yeah,
Hmm.
they can offer an AutoStone car care plan where people will have their car policies um, insured by one of the major insurers, right? So those are the three areas that we're concentrating on currently, yeah. And then some independent dealerships want to explore synergy with us, collaborations. That's another avenue we'll never turn down.
And so, maybe since I'm in the US and a lot of the listeners will be in the US, it makes sense to focus the question there. What is the current marketing strategy for targeting those insurance company partners and direct to consumer clients?
I tend to use my network connections where, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's the doors that I tend to go down the avenue for. And I always do it personally because I think all these high level corporations, yeah, tend to get other people to do their work for them, especially some other CEOs. But for me, I like to be there personally because it's a personal growth driven business, right? Yeah, and that needs to come across because a lot of my team are family driven, So that's a big strong core for us that, if people want to trust us to have a car care plan, they can see as well that we are also founders of families for the next generation. That's how I see it, right? Yeah, but
Sure.
I think that's so important. Yeah, you know, especially with
Absolutely.
communities. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I think about obviously warm network and having genuine conversations is a huge part of establishing those relationships and being able to leverage those relationships. And on the other side of that, what strategies are you implementing or have you thought about in terms of the digital marketing side and leveraging technology?
yeah. We're currently looking at the moment, right? Yeah, especially for AI, because
Hmm.
AI I think is going to be the future. But I think as well, us people, I don't think we can rely on AI 100%, but it's there. But I think it's going to still need a lot of human interaction as well, right? Yeah, so we're working on that area currently at the moment. Yeah.
And are you doing any direct ad placement for the direct to consumer?
Yeah, that will be launching in next year. That will be launching next year, direct to the consumer next year. We're going to be doing like billboards and stuff like that, because I think digital, right, is a lot of companies now. You can actually put your information into these billboard schemes now,
Hmm.
digitally for you remotely, and then within 5 or 10 minutes, subject to it being correct, it's up there. Yeah, you know,
Hmm.
especially billboards in New York and stuff like that. I mean, we can do it from your own home now, and next minute, bang, it's up there, right? Yeah. So, nothing's impossible.
Anything with social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, so LinkedIn we do quite a lot, but we find a lot of that's for B2B resources.
Hmm.
But we're running an AutoStone subscription at the moment on LinkedIn. Yeah, and that's just building, but that's coming. The community's joining that, so it's gradually building. And I created that myself, and I was quite surprised the reaction that it's giving. So yeah, we've got about, I think, close on 500 subscribers there at the moment, but it's going to grow. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think what we got planned is going to be very exciting. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see. How about looking forward in the next 12 months? If we were to
Oh yeah,
if we were to meet at that time, what
yeah.
does the ideal scenario look like?
I think the journey that in a year's time we meet, I'm looking to do acquisitions along the journey, buy and build acquisitions, yeah, for some of these independent family auto centres, yeah. And then what I want to do is implement AutoStone's Rapid Centres, and I want them operating 7 days a week, 24 hours round the clock, split shifts. Because if you want your car booked in for two p.m. that afternoon, and you got to be at work the next day, we'll have your car back to you before you go to work.
That makes sense. And what do you foresee as the biggest challenges or blockers standing in between now and then and being able to make those acquisitions?
Okay, the sector is very what's the word, gossipy. I use the word, so the expression, right? So you got to play things close to your chest to what you're doing, because if someone what you tell someone something and they go and tell someone else, before you know it, another company's already working on it. So I tend to keep all my ideas and everything else for the business close to my chest and keep it all internal. Right now, we're all actually in UK at the moment. There is a company that is owned by a family. I like it. I like the guy that runs it. And so that is a massive opportunity for UK, because he'll be on a massive journey to show other independent garages to join the AutoStone network as well, by acquiring them and turn them around and make them more revenue, make them more operational, and then eventually, on the digital side, everything will be taken care of internally for them from an operations point of view. So all they got to do is really make sure the customer care is driven, the car is taken care of on the repair, but as they say at a time that it's going to be back to them. I think that everything else it will be taken care of from the high level end anyway.
Sure. And it seems like, based on what you've talked about so far, you obviously have some technical expertise yourself. I'm curious, how many other people, when you do you have to lean on to help you with implementation of some of these digital marketing strategies? And is it something that you occasionally need to outsource or considering outsourcing?
Yeah, I outsourced to about 3 companies, but we white label them AutoStone, so nobody else will know any different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our internal, the HR department that a company I looked at recently, they're doing that currently at the moment. So, everything's going to be done internally, but all white labeled AutoStone. So, yeah, I'm very selective who we go out to and use their resources for. Yeah. So I
Sure.
think you've got to, because they've got to be as passionate for the brand. And not only that, they're making revenue. I could spot things in their own business which may need improvement, right? And I don't mind giving that for free.
Yeah.
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 So I think it's a good collaboration journey. Um, and that's what I like about businesses, right? Yeah, you got to be on the same alignment through the journey, yeah, because that's so important, right? Yeah,
And so when you look at the external partners, as far as your marketing strategies are concerned, where which methods have been the most effective and which methods have the most opportunity for improvement?
yeah. So I think Bosch was a big one, right? There is some other ones in the pipeline, yeah. I can't mention them because we're under strict non-disclosure agreements at the moment. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think those are the big, strong opportunities, because having that infrastructure is a big key for a company that I'm pushing to eventually take it global.
And how do you think about marketing budget towards these initiatives, monthly, annually, or whatever you're comfortable sharing, and
Yeah,
fitting that
we
into
do
your
it.
business model?
Yeah, so we tend to do it monthly, because some of these businesses may want to join as a franchise. Yeah. So
Hmm.
what we do with that, we charge them a royalty, but that royalty goes back, part of it goes back into that business towards their marketing. So we utilize that, because a lot of franchise ors charge additional like 2% for their marketing. But what we do, we say, like, say for instance, an average 10% royalty, we'll cut that down and reuse that 5% to go back into that business itself.
I see. And so shifting a little bit, tell me, I know you have some experience in the construction world.
Yeah.
What are you involved with there, and what are the high level objectives looking forward over the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, this is a very soft subject. So my father was a very experienced property entrepreneur. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But along that journey, I learned about property and developments and construction. And what's inspired me now is that I will continue his legacy on. We've just created a brand called Davis Homes here in UK. Yeah. And what I learned from that is, like, I don't know what it's like in the States, but here in care homes, right? They're not brilliant, I say. Yeah.
Hmm.
And some people don't need to be in care homes, right? They don't need to be. They can still have the resources to have their independence and people coming in and taking care of them. So at the moment, we're just engaged in looking to acquire a site to build 39 homes here in UK. Yeah, and it's a family-owned site. So what I'm going to do is partially some of those houses I will sell to the public, and then I'm going to keep at least 10 to 15 of those houses back and go to the local care communities and say, you know what, there's some houses that have been adapted, and these families with their parent people in care homes don't need to be the ones that don't need to be in care homes can go and live independently with outside help coming in. I think that's amazing. I learned that by watching my father. Unfortunately, he was in a care home. It wasn't brilliant, but I think from that is about the next generation. That's what I'm looking to do, because the feedback that we've had is a very good one. That you're building some houses, keeping back for the community that can still live independently, because there's a shortfall here in UK for that as well. I wouldn't know about the States, but I think there's a future there for that sort of sector.
So it sounds like the problem that you're solving is that there is a lot of the senior care facilities are either all or nothing, so to
Correct.
speak, where there's an opening in the market for somebody like yourself to step in and provide something that is somewhere in the middle between independent living and still being able to have resources that they need at that stage in life.
Yeah, because some of those people that don't need to be in the care homes, right? You go into these care homes, um, you deteriorate quite quickly. So if the percentage is quite high that people go in and they just start to deteriorate because they haven't got the family environment around them, right? They haven't got their
Hmm.
friends or community around them. So why not keep them, if they can, out the independence? Some of the houses we're looking to put lifts in and stuff like that, so they can still have their independence. So, uh, um, so um, yeah, I'm very passionate for that. What I'm doing at the moment for that generation.
And when you are able to find those residents and get them in the homes, by the way, what's the time frame for that in that development
So 18 to 24 months.
until they're complete?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And when you're able to start to line up residents to be move into those homes, is that going to be based on a leasing agreement or
Yeah,
other
well,
other?
we do a leasing agreement, so we'll reach out to the local authorities while we're building them, and then we'll get a plan put in, work with the local authorities for those houses. And yeah, I think that's where my mindset to get a pre-lease involved, right? Yeah, and obviously one day if a relative passes away, that house gets refilled again by someone else, unfortunately. But my intention is that to let them have the luxury and enjoy it while they're still alive. That's where I'm very passionate for.
And when did you say the construction is planned to start, planned to begin?
January 2026. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And so I guess are all the plans as far as the technical details of those developments, is that part of the process already done,
Yeah,
complete?
it's all been done. The designs have been done. All the details, what we call on Section 106 here for the local authorities,
Uh-huh.
that's all been done. All been done and ironed out. Already been done.
And so what's your next step in moving that project forward?
Right now, we're just waiting for the owners to give us a date for completion. That's what we're waiting for now.
Okay. And in the interim, are you looking to expand that project into other developments, or is that just basically on hold until you complete this phase of the project?
So what I tend to do through this phase, once it starts and some of the houses are pre-sold, that money will roll over to another project, and we just reduplicate that blueprint for another site. That I don't intend to take profit out of it. I tend to re-put it back in for the community.
Yeah, yeah, it's we definitely need more people like you in the world doing
Yeah,
those things for the
yeah.
greater good
I
of
learned that,
society.
but Jim, I learned that because my father was a very caring person, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
we was very close. I from his son's point of view, I observed my father because I didn't realise the journey that I'm on, that he was making me the next person in line to be the next entrepreneur in the family. And it was just someone recently, earlier this year, explained that to me, and it sort of like clicked. So, coming across this site, right, it feels like, oh, as I said, his spirit's with me, and it's like I'm doing the right thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that in more depth, but it's. I think once that's accomplished, I think that would be quite overwhelming to see that being created. Yeah,
Well, I think it fits into that school of thought that the more that you put out, the more that you give out, the more that you receive in return, right?
yeah,
Versus
yeah,
trying to take first and then receive. So I couldn't agree more.
yeah.
Mark, are there any other projects or things that we haven't already talked about? I know we talked about a lot that you wanted to bring to the audience, make people aware of so far.
I think with we just acquired a recruitment company here in UK. Yeah,
Hmm.
right. And the owner of that, and I think by me coming on board and acquiring a percentage of that company, we managed to turn that around to a different direction where it more interacts more with the community. I think the community needs to interact more with businesses and create like crowd funds and everything else, and get that corporation to support it. I think that's where I'll be happy to support.
And for anybody who might be listening that would like to get more information on any of the things that you mentioned today, where's the best place to connect, get research, and get in touch with you?
Yeah, I think if they go through my main group website, which is www.davisgrouplimited.co.uk, or
Hmm.
via autostone-usa.com, especially you come from the
Hmm.
States. So, but yeah, I think those are the two websites you can come through. And or there's my email, mark.davis@autostone.co.uk. You can reach out to me there. I'll be happy to respond.
Perfect. Mark, this was fantastic. Thanks for
It's been
unpacking
enjoyable.
AutoStone's journey and the playbook for scaling in 2025. For listeners, we'll link resources and highlights in the show notes. If you enjoyed the episode, follow Trust AI Partners and share with a colleague who's building the future of operations. Until next time, I'm Jim Hoover, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again. Take care.